So, today we got a nice little stack with 5 comics to review today. Starting out with EC Comics Blood Type. This one's done completely different than the other EC Comics books that they put out that had a couple stories in each book or so, or 2 to 3 stories per book or something like that. But this one, you still get your Crypt Keeper type character, your Gravekeeper character, giving you the intro of everything, and we're getting deeper into the story about our vampire gal that showed up, came on a ship, and a ship full of snacks for her to this island that apparently has its own vampire sect to deal with. And we heard stories that travelers, visitors were going missing. Well, now it's getting a little deeper. We're finding out that it's locals that are going missing, and they do a great job with and the artwork's nice, uh, well done. They do a great job with playing the locals against our female vampire here, and she's getting more and more information on what's going on. And I believe she knows who is in charge, why they're there, someone from her past. But I really enjoy this, but it just doesn't feel like EC Comics to me, where they'd have a bunch of short stories, just like 2, 3 short stories or whatever per issue, just being an ongoing story. It's just weird being part of the EC universe, as far as I'm concerned. I just look back what I was used to, the old school fun oddball horror uh, stories with the fun little twist in the end of everything. But I know this is like I'm pretty sure it's a 4 issue run, 4 or 5. So we kind of were set up for a nice little short story, because a lot of the other ones are running like 12 issues or something like that. But I wasn't a vampire story, I probably wouldn't have stuck on it as long, but it's got my curiosity. I want to know who's running the island, what are the girl that vampire that we met in the beginning, what she has to do with this. I'm sure it's probably the person that turned her or something like that originally, but the story is getting deeper into it. The Herculoids, this is still fun, enjoyable. I am jumping off it because it's going to be going deeper than I assumed. It looks like it's going to go, I don't know about ongoing, but it's going to go on for quite a few issues yet. With our blood type storyline, we got Corina Bechko as writer, Andrea Sorrentino as art, colors by Dave Stewart, lettering by Richard Starkings, and comic drafts Tyler Smith. Uh, and then on the Herculoids storyline, we got Tom Schnagoski is the writer, Craig Rousseau is the artist, Omi Ramalanti Jr. is the colorist, and letters by Taylor Esposito. Somewhere out in space live the Herculoids, Zak, the laser ray dragon, Igu, the giant rock ape, Tundro, the tremendous Tundro the tremendous, Gloop and Gleep, the formless, fearless wonders, with Xandor, their leader, and his wife Tara and son Dorno, They team up to protect their planet from sinister invaders. All strong, all brave, all heroes. They're the Herculoids. This story, on this one, they don't have new invaders. They have invaders that have been on the planet. We see an alien ship and stuff that's inside and like buried into the planet some. And we got this big brainy character that's controlling these other entities, and they're basically coming to the surface and end up getting caught up right in the Herculoids path. So the Herculoids have to deal with these characters and what they're doing. And we got this kind of golden golem type creature that the underground uh, aliens created. And I like what's going on with this story, how it's getting more into things going on and in the planet instead of focusing deeply on just newcomers coming to the planet, causing problems, trying to take precious items from the planet, whatever they find that they don't never seen before or may be able to use or are searching for, and just happen to run into the Herculoids and have to deal with them trying to kick them off their planet. But yeah, I like it. I just didn't want it to go long running with the first one. I wanted a short run just to get the gist of everything. But I'm happy. I learned more about my childhood because and when I watched the show, I thought they were on Earth when they were dealing with people uh, interrupting on their space. But I just felt like it was Land of the Lost style, back in time, and it just not dinosaur era type storyline. I didn't know it was just them on planet at the time, or I may have and just remember. It's been so long. I'm old. We got Redcoat number 13. If you're not reading this, you might as well quit reading comics. It's an excellent storyline. And the cool thing is, I love Redcoat Geiger, and I was really bummed when Rook left us with the animal masks and the territorial thing going on there. But they came back right off that run, jumping right into issue 7. So that's in the latest catalog. That'll be out in October or so. Looking forward to that. This is done by G.F. Johns, Brian Hitch, anchors Andrew Curry and Brian Hitch, colorist Brad Anderson, Rob Lay letterer, and of course they have a variety of covers, but I like picking up the wraparounds. But the new Rook that's coming out in October, the next issue, not new, the next issue in the run for Rook, they have a connecting cover, but I don't see it for Redcoat and Geiger like they did with other ones in the past. But so I'm hoping that it's going to be issue 7, 8, and 9 of Rook all connecting or something like that. We'll see what happens. But then we get back to our story with the Northerner in here and trying to get the little girl to safety. And we basically reach a point where they're hooking up with the Underground Railroad from back in that period. Uh, and the Northerner wants our Redcoat character to get the girl to safety. But of course, Redcoat's like, "Oh, that's not my job. I'm not qualified for that. I'm not gonna do that and all that stuff. I got other things I gotta worry about, like taking advantage of people to get himself some money and food and whatever, shelter, and just wants to go about his way and get back to his old shitty ways of doing things." And the Northerner tries to get it through Redcoat's head that, hey, you're a key part of everything that's happening. You need to do things that you're told and actually do stuff that's going to matter many, many, many decades, centuries in the future. Uh, don't be an idiot and just run around wasting your immortality by taking advantage of people and stuff. But this one gets them to that point where they're going to get the girl to a place of safety, but then someone catches up to them, and there ends up being a bunch of issues with the Northerner and stuff that happen in here, and some interesting things that are gonna possibly force our character to actually do some stuff that matters in his life. So hopefully, but yeah, I like that back cover with all the clockwork activity going on back there. Uh, yeah, if you're not reading Redcoat, I believe you're missing out. There's a handful of really good stories right now from newer creators, newer storylines and stuff that I feel people are missing out on because there's a lot of people that are just basically saying, "Oh, I'm done with the new stuff. There's nothing good coming out. I'm going back to reading old comics." You can always get the older comics. They're always there. They're always reprinting them, doing facsimiles of every issue and all that stuff. I mean, issues that aren't even worth that you can still find in dollar boxes and stuff. They're doing facsimiles of, which makes no sense to me. It's like you're just wasting printing for to take people's money away from getting newer stories and putting that money towards newer creators. Instead, let's take the old stuff and reprint it over and over and over, give it 15 different covers, and try and get as much money out of that one storyline as we can. And it just makes no sense to me because half the fun of being a collector is collecting the originals, not worrying about reprints and stuff like that, not having see things come up, get excited, think it's an original, and then find out it's just a reprint again. And I'm one of those that's so sick and tired of hearing origin story every time a new person jumps on a storyline. That's why I like supporting independent creators because they bring their stuff out and they keep producing it, and they don't sit there and constantly throw in your face origin after origin, give a couple books worth of storylines, and then start all over again with another person telling the origin story and getting a couple storylines that are similar to ones we've seen in the past and then starting over again. That's not my cup of tea. I'd rather see Thor, Logan. I love the Old Man Logan run. I liked when they brought the characters in aged and all that stuff. I thought that was more enjoyable than getting beginning stories again and again and again. I mean, look at I haven't went and seen the Fantastic Four yet. I wasn't gonna, but then I seen a preview that caught my eye, and I want to see the movie. I was gonna go to the theaters, but I had a bunch of stuff happen that Tuesday, so I ended up not going, and now I'm just gonna wait until it comes out on a platform. But this is what the fifth Fantastic Four movie, and it's basically starting the story over again and again and again. That's why people are burnt out on a lot of superhero crap. Like, let's get some new stories. Let's get some later event things. Let's quit going back to the beginning with every damn team and characters. It's like I've been hearing that X-Men's coming back with something. It's like, so what are we gonna do? Go right back to the whole prison camps and learn the stories about Xavier and Magneto and go back to the beginning of the kids first coming to school and all that. We're going to try and redo the whole thing again. Why can't we just go off the old stories? Just there's so much better stories later on in character series than there are with the beginnings of the characters. We've Many of us have heard them way too many times. We got Red Sonja versus the Army of Darkness. Here's two characters that have had many, many, many adventures. Stories are still new. They're still going on. And they're doing it by crossing over with other franchises. And they're doing a great job with it. Why we can't do that with some of our bigger superheroes stories, I don't know. But in this one, we still have our duo trying to get back the Necronomicon and hunting it down. Red Sonja's getting a little controlled by the Deadite powers and stuff, but we have a character that's doing her own little ritual, setting stuff up, and we find out that she's got the Necronomicon, and at the same time, we find out that uh, a character from Ashley's past, the red what's the Red King, the red-haired king from the Army of Darkness era. He gets caught up in some stuff with this our little summoner learns that Necronomicon's a little bit eviler than she thinks. She thinks she has control of the Necronomicon. No, the Necronomicon will have control of you. And we also get some some Deadite style, and you got an evil sorcerer wizard type character here. We got some Deadite bat boys, bat characters that we see in here that are children that got turned. Uh, but apparently, Red Sonja was in this area before, and she ended up having to kill a bunch of children or something like that. And now she's having to relive that event, and it's affecting her. And there's also the Necronomicons trying to possess Red Sonja, and of course, always trying to possess Ash, uh, take over their souls. Swallow your soul, swallow your soul. Uh, but I love where that storyline's going. I got on that one, and I didn't get on Red Sonja um, Mars Attacks run because I have the Mars Attacks Red Sonja trade somewhere, I'm pretty sure. I think the wife picked it up for me, and I decided on the new Red Sonja Mars Attacks that I was gonna wait for the trade for that one too, since I have the trade of the other one. But I'm really wanting to read that story. Those Mars Attacks is just such a fun version of alien takeover storylines. They're just such goofy little aliens too. I need to rewatch the Mars Attacks movie. It's been a while. Say it's been a good probably 10 years. Uh Hell Hath Arisen Part 4. This is Spawn number 366. Todd McFarlane, of course. Brett Booth, Adelso Corona, Daniel Enriquez, and Robert Nugent and Tom Orzakowski working on this one. We have a new player in our realm, a giant elephant deity type character. And this is coming off the battle with the big giant entity that they're trying to deal with that showed up, came out of the ocean, and Spawn and everybody are set up for a special style attack, and this character is helping them uh, deal with this entity to try and take it down. And they have certain there's a couple characters, Spawn, and I think two other characters that can break through the shielding of the giant colossus. And I think Haunt has some uh, abilities that he can get in there. But yeah, they attack the colossus, the giant entity, and try to take him down. While that's going on, we're also learning about some more players and stuff in the whole storyline. I'm jumping off this after the giant I think I got one more issue coming. Then I'm gonna take a break from Spawn for a bit. Focus more on some of the new stories that are coming out. We have a whole I forget what the name of it is, but it has a feel like medieval Spawn. But I think it's we're gonna see another whole new character type entity come into the play field, and I think we got to be seeing Nyx pretty soon. I mean, instead of her sending the creatures and stuff, we gotta see her appear and do something. But the way the stories are laid out, what they give us for descriptions of future books to come, I think they're jumping away from that part of the storyline and bringing some other storyline in, because there's going to be a big crossover. King Spawn 50 apparently is going to have some type of connection with every other number 50 Spawn out there, with Gunslinger and King Spawn and I don't know, Medieval Spawn maybe, Scorched. There's going to be a variety of them that it says crosses over or has some connection or something. So I'm looking forward to that, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I'll probably grab number 50 of everything I can from on and just see what happens with the whole connection between them all. But I am really enjoying the Spawn run. I'm trying to limit myself to the amount of books that I'm ordering a month, and I'm not going to dedicate to every McFarlane related book that comes out through Spawn because there's just too many side stories right now. But I will pick up key issues like the 50 and the 50 connecting runs or whatever they're doing. I'm not sure. Can't remember. I think it was in the oh, it would be the September or August catalog for October. But we will see. Uh, the company I get my books through, I don't think have all the books in their catalog, but I will keep an eye out. I'll hit my LCS up, but my LCS kind of sucks. They pretty much pick up A and B covers. You don't get to see any special things unless you pre-order through them, I guess. But yeah, these were a lot of fun. Great little stack of comics. Keep falling under the cult of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes. Leave a comment. I'll comment back. Check out our Crimson Cull Comic Club for our group podcast. And we'll be back with lots more in the future. Thanks. Bye.